Hi friends. Welcome back to Super English Talks. I'm so happy that you are here today. I'm Sarah, and I really hope you are ready to relax, listen, and enjoy some easy English practice. So, take a deep breath. Let's begin this English journey together. Today's practice is very special. It's called Full Guideline: How to Learn English. This is not just another listening video. It's a full, step-by-step story about learning English, and also about believing in yourself. Many people ask me, Sarah, how can I learn English faster? How can I understand native speakers? And I always say, there is no magic. There is only practice. Calm, regular, happy practice. In this video, we will talk about how to learn English in a smart, natural way. You will hear stories, ideas, examples, and friendly explanations that will help you understand not just words, but how English really works. So, sit back, relax, maybe take your cup of tea or coffee, and let's begin our long, beautiful English story together. When I was younger, I also struggled with language. I remember sitting at my desk, listening to foreign words, and thinking, how do people understand this so fast? Everything sounded like one long sound. I felt lost and a little sad. Maybe you feel the same way sometimes. Maybe you listen to English movies or YouTube videos, and you think, I don't understand. It's too fast. But don't worry, my friend. Everyone feels that in the beginning. Every person who speaks English today once felt confused, nervous, and tired of learning. But they continued, and so will you. That's why this video is here, to guide you through that feeling and help you learn how to listen the right way. So, imagine this as a journey. You and I are walking together. The path is not too hard, but we must go step by step. Sometimes we will stop and rest, sometimes we'll repeat words, sometimes we'll think deeply. But by the end, you'll feel stronger, clearer, and more confident in English. Now, let me tell you a little story. A story about a girl named Emma. Emma is 22 years old. She lives in a small city near Madrid in Spain. She has been studying English for many years. But she feels stuck. She knows many words, she can read some articles, but when people speak, she freezes. She can't understand. Every time she hears English speakers, she feels nervous. She says to herself, I know these words, but why can't I understand them? One evening, she sat in her room after class. The room was quiet. She opened her notebook and wrote one sentence. I want to understand English like real people do. The next day, she found my channel, Super English Talks, and she started listening. At first, she understood only a few words. But she liked the sound of English. She liked the slow, friendly tone. So, she decided to listen every day. In the beginning, she listened for 5 minutes. Then 10. Then 20. She didn't translate in her head. She just listened. And slowly, something began to change. She started catching small phrases. Things like, you know, by the way, that's amazing, I think so too. Those small phrases made her smile. Because for the first time, English started to feel alive. She realized that learning English wasn't about memorizing hundreds of words or studying grammar rules. It was about listening, feeling, and connecting with meaning. One morning, Emma went to a coffee shop. She heard 2 tourists talking in English. One said, I can't believe how cold it is today. And Emma smiled, because she understood it perfectly. It was just a small sentence, but it meant a lot to her. It was proof that she was improving. That's when Emma truly began her English journey. She started changing her habits. Every morning while brushing her teeth, she listened to English. While cooking, she listened again. Before bed, she listened to short stories in English. She didn't worry about understanding everything. She focused on the sound. Because listening trains your brain, even when you don't realize it. You see, our brain is amazing. When you listen to English sounds again and again, your brain starts to recognize patterns. At first, everything sounds like noise. But after some time, it becomes language. Just like when a baby learns to talk. A baby doesn't read grammar books. They just listen, for months and months, until one day, words come naturally. That's how real language learning happens. So, Emma followed this natural way. But sometimes she felt tired. Some days she wanted to give up. She would say, "Sarah, I've been listening for weeks, but still, I make mistakes." And I told her, "Emma, mistakes mean you're learning. Every mistake is proof that you're trying. And trying means you're growing." That made her feel better. She smiled and said, "Okay, I'll keep going." And that's what I want to tell you today too. You might not see big results after 1 week. But after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you'll notice that something has changed. You'll start understanding people faster. You'll answer without translating. You'll even begin to think in English. But that happens only when you listen regularly. Not once a week. Every day. Even 10 minutes a day makes a big difference. Now, let's do a small listening practice together. I'll say some sentences. Listen carefully. Then, repeat after me. Ready? Learning English is a journey. I can improve if I listen every day. Mistakes help me grow. I believe in myself. Good job. Say it again, but this time slowly. I believe in myself. Beautiful. This simple practice helps you not only with pronunciation but also with confidence. When you repeat positive sentences, your brain starts to believe them. So from now on, don't say, "English is too hard." Say, "English is possible." Don't say, "I'm not good enough." Say, "I'm learning, and I'm getting better every day." Words have power. And your words shape your learning journey. Emma learned that too. After 3 months of daily listening, she noticed something new. When her teacher spoke in class, she didn't need subtitles anymore. She could follow naturally. Her teacher said, "Emma, your listening is much better. What did you do?" She smiled and said, "I just listened every day." Her friends were surprised. They said, "That's it." And she said, "Yes, that's it. But I did it with love and patience." You see, the secret to learning English is not big. It's small and quiet. It's listening again and again. It's enjoying the sound of the language. It's smiling at your progress, even when it's small. Now, let's learn some simple vocabulary from Emma's story. The word improve means to get better. Repeat after me. Improve. Good. The word understand means to know what something means. Repeat. Understand. And believe means to trust that something is true. Repeat. Believe. Excellent. Now, let's check your comprehension. Listen carefully. Why did Emma start listening every day? Yes, because she wanted to understand real English, not just grammar. Next question. How did she practice? She listened while doing daily things, cooking, walking, before bed. Very good. You're doing amazing. Now, before we finish this part, I want to give you a little motivation. Every person who speaks good English today started from zero. They were once where you are now. They listened, practiced, made mistakes, and kept going. You can do the same. Even if it feels slow, even if you don't understand everything, keep going. Because little by little, a little becomes a lot. Remember this sentence. Say it with me. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. Beautiful. Every small action you take builds your English mountain. Every word you hear builds your future confidence. So, from today, I want you to make one small promise. I will listen to English every day. That's all. No pressure. No stress. Just listen. And I promise one day, you'll wake up and realize, English feels natural. So now, my friend, take a small break. Drink some water. Stretch your shoulders. You've done great so far. After listening for a few months, Emma felt different. She didn't know how to describe it, but something in her brain had changed. She could catch the rhythm of English. She could hear where one word ended and the next began. She even started dreaming in English. Just a little. One morning, Emma woke up and looked at herself in the mirror. She smiled and said, "Maybe today I will try speaking." It was a big day for her. She had listened for a long time, but she had never spoken much. She was afraid of making mistakes. She was afraid people would laugh or not understand her. But that day she felt brave. She made herself a cup of coffee and opened her laptop. She found an English-speaking group online. It was free, friendly, and open to learners from many countries. She clicked Join Meeting. When the video opened, she saw people smiling from all around the world. From India, Japan, Brazil, Turkey, and France. And the host said, "Welcome everyone. Let's start by introducing ourselves." Emma's heart started to beat fast. Her hands were shaking. She whispered to herself, "I can do this. I can do this." When it was her turn, she smiled nervously and said, "Hello. My name is Emma. I'm from Spain. I like English and I want to speak better." Her voice was soft, but clear. And then something amazing happened. The people in the group smiled and said, "Nice to meet you, Emma." In that moment, she felt something she had never felt before. Connection. She realized that English was not just a subject in school. It was a bridge between hearts. After the meeting, she felt proud. She said to herself, I really spoke in English. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that was enough." That night, Emma couldn't sleep. Her mind was full of new ideas, new dreams. She wanted to travel. She wanted to make friends. She wanted to understand the world in English. The next day, she listened even more carefully. She noticed how people used small expressions, things like, you know, I mean, actually, by the way. She started writing them down in her notebook. And every evening, she practiced saying them aloud. She said softly, "You know, I really like this. I mean, it's kind of interesting." Actually, I don't think so. By the way, what do you think? She spoke slowly, repeating the rhythm of each phrase. That's how she started to sound more natural. Not because she learned new words, but because she learned how people really speak. Many English learners make a big mistake. They try to speak fast before they learn to listen deeply. But listening is the foundation. When you listen more, your speaking becomes smoother, clearer, and more natural, automatically. Think about music. When you listen to a song many times, you start singing along without even trying. You know the beat, the tone, the pauses. The same happens with English. So if you want to speak better, start by listening better. Now let's do a short listening exercise together. Listen carefully to my sentences, then repeat them after me, slowly and clearly. I am not afraid of mistakes. Good. Every time I speak, I learn something new. Excellent. I listen carefully, and I understand more each day. Beautiful. Let's do it again, but this time, with more feeling. I am not afraid of mistakes. Yes, that's better. You sound confident already. You see, confidence grows one word at a time. Emma learned this lesson too. A few weeks later, she joined the same speaking group again. But this time, she was not nervous. She was excited. She wanted to talk more. The host said, "Today we'll discuss our favorite books. Who wants to start?" And before she could think, Emma raised her hand. "I can start," she said. Everyone smiled and waited. She said, "My favorite book is The Little Prince. It's a story about love and friendship. I like it because it teaches us to see with our heart, not only with our eyes." The group was quiet for a second. Then they clapped and said, "That's beautiful, Emma." She smiled with tears in her eyes. She had done it. She had spoken in English, with feeling. That night, she sent me a message. She wrote, "Sarah, today I spoke from my heart. English is no longer a subject for me. It's a part of me." And I replied, "That's how you know you're growing, when English becomes not just a language, but your voice." Let's pause here and think about that. Many learners study English for years, but they never feel connected to it. They memorize, they repeat, they take exams, but they don't feel it. If you want to truly learn English, you must feel it inside. Listen not only with your ears, but with your heart. When you hear the word beautiful, imagine something truly beautiful. When you hear sad, remember a sad moment. When you hear hope, feel that light inside you. This is what makes English alive. Now, let's talk about 3 important tips that helped Emma improve her listening and speaking together. Tip 1. Listen with purpose. Don't just play English sounds in the background. Choose something you love, a story, a song, or a short talk, and focus for 10 minutes. Ask yourself, what do I feel? What do I understand? Tip 2. Listen many times to the same thing. Repetition is your best friend. When you hear the same story 3 or 4 times, your brain starts to relax. You begin to understand the details and rhythm. Tip 3. Shadow the speaker. That means, repeat what you hear immediately, with the same tone and rhythm. It's like singing along, but with English speech. For example, if I say, "I believe I can do it." You say after me, "I believe I can do it." Let's try it. Ready? I believe I can do it. Good. Say it again, but with energy. I believe I can do it. Yes. That's the spirit. Shadowing is powerful because it connects your ears, mouth, and brain. You start to speak naturally, not from memory, but from feeling. Emma did this every day. She would listen to short podcasts and repeat them aloud. Sometimes her neighbors laughed because she was talking to herself, but she didn't care. She was improving. She said, "If I can't find English speakers around me, I will become my own speaking partner." That's a great attitude. And maybe you can do that too. Even if you don't have native speakers near you, you can still create an English world around yourself. You can change your phone to English. You can watch your favorite shows with English subtitles. You can speak to yourself while walking, just small sentences like, "It's a nice day," or "I'm going to make coffee." It might sound silly, but it's powerful. Because every word you speak becomes practice. Now, let's do a few more small listening practices together. Listen carefully, then answer the questions. Emma listened to English every day. Did she understand everything in the beginning? Pause. No, she didn't. She understood only a few words. Why did she keep listening? Pause. Because she liked the sound and wanted to feel English naturally. Very good. Now, here's a fun challenge for you. After this video, try to describe your day in English. Just 5 sentences. For example, I woke up early today. I made breakfast. I listened to English while eating. I learned new words. I feel proud of myself. That's it. Just 5 sentences. If you do that every day, your speaking will grow faster than you think. Remember, practice doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. When you make mistakes, smile. When you forget a word, breathe. When you feel shy, speak anyway. Because English is not about being perfect. It's about being brave. Emma understood this the hard way. One day, during her English group meeting, she said something wrong. She said, "He go to work every day." The teacher corrected her gently. "He goes to work every day." Emma laughed. She said, "Oops, I forgot the S." And everyone laughed together. It was friendly, not scary. That moment changed everything for her. She realized that mistakes are not enemies. They are teachers. Every time you make a mistake, it shows you where to grow. And the more mistakes you make, the more you learn. So from that day she stopped being afraid. She started enjoying learning again. She said, "When I stop fearing mistakes, English becomes fun." And that's what I want you to feel too. So let's repeat this together, okay? English is fun. I am not afraid of mistakes. I can speak with confidence. I am learning every day. Perfect. Each sentence you say today is one step closer to your English dream. Now, before we end this section, I want to give you one important reminder. Don't compare your English to others. Your journey is yours. Some people learn faster, some slower, and that's okay. Language is not a race. It's a relationship. When you love English, it will love you back. So, listen with joy, speak with courage, and practice with patience. After a few months, Emma's English started to sound better. She could understand simple conversations and short stories. She was not afraid to speak anymore. But one problem still made her nervous. Fast English. When native speakers talked quickly, everything sounded like one long word. She couldn't hear the spaces between the words. It felt like her ears were too slow. She told me one day, "Sarah, when I listen to movies or YouTube videos, it's like magic. I only hear sounds, not words. How can they speak so fast?" I smiled and said, "Emma, that's not magic. That's connected speech. Let's talk about what that means." When native speakers talk, they don't pronounce each word clearly like in a textbook. They connect words together. For example, instead of saying, "I want to eat it," they say, "I wanna eat it." Instead of "What do you want?" they say, "What do you want?" And instead of "going to," they say, "gonna." These are small changes, but they make a big difference in listening. So, Emma's next goal was to train her ears to understand fast, real English. And that became her new challenge. Every evening, she watched short English videos. Not too long, just 2 or 3 minutes. At first, she watched with subtitles. Then, she turned them off. She listened carefully. She paused often. She repeated what she heard. She whispered to herself. "Okay," he said, "I'm gonna call you later." Gonna, that means going to. She wrote down new connected phrases in her notebook. I'm gonna. I am going to. I wanna. I want to. Gimme. Give me. Lemme. Let me. Kinda. Kind of. She practiced each one slowly and clearly. She said, "I'm gonna learn. I wanna rest. Gimme a second. Lemme check. It's kinda cold." She practiced them every morning while brushing her teeth. She laughed and said, "Now I even think in connected English." That's how real learning happens. Little by little, every day. Now, let's do a small listening practice with connected speech. I'll say a few sentences naturally. Try to repeat them after me. Ready? I'm gonna go now. Good. Do you wanna come with me? Nice. Gimme a minute. Perfect. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Excellent. When you practice like this, your ears become faster. You begin to recognize patterns. And soon, you'll understand native speakers more easily. Emma discovered something interesting too. She noticed that listening wasn't just about hearing words, it was about feeling rhythm. English has a special kind of music. Some words are strong, some are soft. Some go up, some go down. That's why English sounds like a wave, always moving. For example, listen to this short sentence. I didn't say you stole my book. It looks simple, right? But it can have many meanings, depending on which word you stress. If I say, I didn't say you stole my book, it means someone else said it, not me. If I say, I didn't say you stole my book, it means I didn't say that. If I say, I didn't say you stole my book, it means maybe someone else did. See? The same words, different feelings. So, rhythm and stress change meaning. Emma practiced this too. She listened carefully and repeated the stress pattern. She would say slowly, I didn't say you stole my book. She learned to hear the music of English. If you want to understand fast English, you must listen for rhythm, not just words. Because your brain can catch patterns faster than individual sounds. Think about when you hear your favorite song. Even if you don't know every word, you can still hum along, because you feel the beat. English listening works the same way. Now let's try a small rhythm exercise together. I'll read a few sentences. You listen and repeat after me, with rhythm. I can do it. Good. I really want to learn. Nice and smooth. It's not that hard. Perfect. I'm getting better every day. Wonderful. Now, let's make it faster. Ready? I can do it. I really want to learn. It's not that hard. I'm getting better every day. Excellent. See. You're catching the rhythm already. Emma did this every single day. Short practice, 10 minutes only. And slowly, her ears began to change. One day, she watched a movie and realized she could understand full sentences without reading the subtitles. She was so happy she jumped up and shouted, "I got it! I understood it!" It was a small victory, but it meant a lot. Learning English is not one big step. It's thousands of small steps. Every word, every sound, every moment counts. Now, let's learn some useful vocabulary and expressions that Emma heard often when listening to real English. Repeat after me slowly. No worries. It means, it's okay, or don't worry. Take your time. It means, don't hurry. Hang on. It means, wait a second. You know what I mean. It means, do you understand what I'm saying? That's cool. It means, that's great or nice. Now let's use them in short sentences. No worries, I can help you. Take your time, there's no rush. Hang on, I'm coming. You know what I mean. That's cool. I like it. Excellent work. Emma loved learning these real-life expressions because they made her sound natural and confident. And she used them whenever she could. She told me, when I say these expressions, I feel like I'm part of the English world, not outside of it. And she was right. You see, when you start using natural phrases, English stops feeling like a foreign language. It starts feeling like a friend. But Emma also faced some hard days. There were times when she listened to something and understood nothing. She felt lost, tired, and discouraged. One day she even said, "Maybe I'm not good at this. Maybe English is too hard for me." I listened quietly and said, "Emma, do you remember when you first learned to ride a bicycle?" She laughed and said, "Yes, I fell many times." "Exactly," I said. "You didn't stop then. You stood up again." Learning English is the same. You may fall, but every time you get up, you're stronger. She smiled. "So my mistakes are like falling off a bike?" "Yes," I said, "and your progress is every time you get back on." That day, she listened again. Slower, calmer, with patience. And you know what? She understood a little more than before. That's how progress works. Small, invisible, but real. If you're listening right now and you sometimes feel like giving up, remember Emma's story. You are not alone. Every learner feels lost sometimes. But the difference between those who succeed and those who stop is simple. The ones who succeed keep going. Let's say this together. I keep going. Good. I am patient with myself. Excellent. I learn from every mistake. Wonderful. Emma wrote these 3 sentences on her wall. She looked at them every morning. They reminded her why she started. Now, let's do a small comprehension check, just for fun. Question 1. What is connected speech? Pause. Yes, it's when English speakers join words together, like, I'm gonna, or would ya. Question 2. Why is rhythm important in English? Pause. Because rhythm helps you understand the music of English, even when people speak fast. Question 3. What did Emma do when she felt like giving up? Pause. She remembered her goal, stayed calm, and kept listening. Beautiful. Now, before we finish this section, I want to share one last powerful idea with you. When you listen to English, don't just train your ears, train your heart. If you listen with love, you'll never get tired. If you listen with curiosity, you'll always find something new. If you listen with patience, you'll always improve. So next time you listen to a podcast, a movie, or even this video, close your eyes for a few seconds. Take a deep breath. And tell yourself, I'm growing. Because you are. After a few more months, something beautiful started to happen to Emma. She didn't even notice it at first. But one day, she realized something very special. She woke up in the morning, looked at her phone, and thought, what time is it? But this time, she didn't think it in her native language. She thought it in English. It felt strange and wonderful. She smiled and said to herself, wait, did I just think in English? That was a big moment for her. Because when you start thinking in English, it means your brain is starting to live in English. You are no longer just studying the language. You are becoming part of it. I told her, Emma, that's the real magic of learning. You're not just memorizing words anymore. You're creating thoughts in English. She asked me, Sarah, how can I make it happen more often? How can I think in English every day? So, I gave her some simple but powerful ideas. Let's learn them together. For example, when you wake up, don't say in your language, I'm tired. Say it in English, I'm tired. When you see the sun, say, it's a beautiful day. When you make coffee, think, I love this smell. Small, simple sentences. That's how it begins. Because every little thought in English is like one small drop of water. And many drops make an ocean. Emma started doing this too. Every day, she talked to herself in English. Quietly, softly, just in her head. When she was walking to work, she said in her mind, the weather is nice today. There are so many cars. I'm a little hungry. I'll cook pasta tonight. She didn't need perfect grammar or big vocabulary. She just needed to think. And little by little, her brain got used to English. Look around you. What do you see right now? A table, a window, maybe your phone or your notebook. Try to describe it in English, even if it's simple. This is my desk. It's a bit messy. I need to clean it later. That's English thinking practice. You can even describe your feelings. I feel calm. I feel happy. I feel sleepy. I feel ready to learn. When you do this, you are training your brain to connect your emotions and your language together. And that's very powerful. Emma told me, Sarah, now I don't just study English. I live in English. I think in it, I feel in it, I even dream in it sometimes. That's the moment when English becomes part of who you are. Now, this part is tricky for many learners. Because when you first start learning, translation helps you understand meaning. But after a while, translation becomes a wall. Imagine this. You hear a word in English. Then you stop, think about it in your language, then try to say it back in English again. That's slow, right? But native speakers don't do that. They just think directly in English. So how can you do that too? Here's a simple trick. When you learn a new word, don't connect it to your language. Connect it to an image, a sound, or a feeling. Instead, imagine a red apple. Feel its smooth skin. Smell its sweet scent. Hear the crunch when you bite it. Now, when you think of apple, your mind sees the image, not the translation. That's how you train your brain to think naturally. Emma practiced this too. When she learned the word rain, she didn't think about the translation. She imagined drops on her window. She imagined the smell of wet grass. She imagined the sound, tap, tap, tap. She said, "Sarah, now when I hear the word rain, I feel it, not translate it." That's real understanding. Yes, really. Talk to yourself. You might feel shy at first, but it's one of the best ways to think faster in English. When you speak, your mouth and brain work together. You don't just think English. You hear it. You create your own language environment. Emma used to talk to herself while cooking. She would say, "Okay, I'm cutting the onion. Now I'm adding salt. Ouch. My eyes are watering." She laughed a lot while doing this, but it worked. Because every small conversation with yourself builds fluency. So, don't be afraid to talk to yourself. You can do it anywhere. In your room, in front of the mirror, even while walking outside. Just say what you're doing, what you feel, what you see. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real. The fifth step is to think in English stories. This is a fun one. At the end of your day, close your eyes and tell yourself a short story in English. For example, today was a good day. I met my friend at the cafe. We talked about our jobs. Then we laughed about something funny. I felt happy. You can make it short and simple. You don't need perfect grammar. Just express your ideas. Emma used to do this before sleeping. She called it her English dream time. She said, "I lie in bed and tell myself my day in English. Sometimes I even fall asleep before I finish." That's the sweetest way to practice thinking in English. After a few weeks of doing this, Emma started noticing big changes. Her sentences came out faster. Her pronunciation felt smoother. Her mind didn't pause to translate anymore. She told me, "It feels like English is part of my brain now." And that's exactly what happens when you train yourself to think in English. It becomes automatic. You stop studying and start living. But thinking in English is not only about language. It's also about attitude. It's about believing that English belongs to you. It's about feeling free to use it without fear. Many learners think, "I'll speak when I'm perfect." But perfection is not the goal. Connection is. When you use English, even with mistakes, you are already winning. Emma realized this one day when she met a tourist from another country. They both spoke English. Not perfectly, but clearly. They laughed, shared stories, and understood each other. Afterward, Emma told me, "I finally get it. English is not about being perfect. It's about connecting with people." I said, "Exactly. English is not an exam. It's a bridge. A bridge between hearts, between countries, between dreams. When you start thinking in English, that bridge becomes strong and open. You can cross it anytime you want." Let's do a little guided practice together. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath. Now, listen carefully. Imagine you're walking in a park. The sun is shining. You feel a soft wind on your face. Birds are singing. Now describe it in English. Quietly, in your mind. I see green trees. I hear birds. The air feels fresh. I feel calm. Good. Now imagine you see a friend. You wave and say, "Hey, how are you?" Your friend smiles and says, "I'm fine. Nice to see you." You both sit on a bench and talk. You say, "It's a beautiful day." Your friend says, "Yes, I love sunny mornings." See? You just thought in English. This is how your mind becomes comfortable with English thoughts, through small moments like this. At the end of this section, Emma wrote in her journal, "Today, I didn't translate. I didn't stop. I just understood. I'm starting to think in English, and it feels peaceful." That's what I want for you too. Thinking in English is not about pressure or grammar. It's about peace, confidence, and flow. It's about hearing your own voice in a new language and smiling because it feels natural. So, every day, take a few minutes to live inside English. Describe your world. Speak your thoughts. Tell your small stories. And soon, English will live inside you too. A few weeks later, Emma and I met again at a small cafe. It was a bright morning. The smell of coffee filled the air, and quiet music played in the background. Emma looked happy. Her eyes sparkled. She said, "Sarah, I can finally think in English now. But when I listen to native speakers, like in movies or podcasts, I still miss a lot of words. Sometimes I understand the meaning, but other times, it feels like the words fly past too fast." I smiled and said, "That's okay, Emma. You're not alone. Every learner feels that way. Listening is like learning to swim. You can't do it by reading about water. You must get into the water again and again." She laughed and said, "Then I guess it's time to swim." And that's how our next journey began. Learning how to listen with emotions and imagination.